Hello, what is up? What's good? Welcome into the OnlyBets Sports Podcast alongside DrewDelucchi. SternBets, I am the Prince of Picks. Happy Tuesday to everyone. We're going to be covering today's slate of games taking place over the sports landscape. We do have a lot of action taking place on the pitch on the soccer fields today across Europe. We got a lot of matches going on, so I'll be sure to cover some of those here on the show, of course. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and Major League Baseball as well. All of that's in action tonight. We'll be giving you our best bets, looks, and angles with some analysis as well to get you guys going here throughout the day. Before we do that, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever it is that you listen to us. If you can give us a real quick rate, review, subscribe, does wonders in helping us grow this channel, grow this community, and get this out to more potential listeners. Let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets. Good morning, Moshe. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, brother?
Happy Tuesday. Another great day in the world of sports. Some great playoff game and action from last night. But let's review our plays from yesterday. I went 1-1. Should have just stuck with the New York Yankees first 5 and full game money line. Cubs bullpen did not come through. They let up a lead going into the 7th. So not a great day there, but 1-1. Pick it up going to tomorrow. You had quite a good day. I'm pretty sure your NHL parlay cashed with flying colors. Absolutely no resistance there. Pistons might be the only play that you did lose. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, our NHL parlay did hit with flying colors, pun intended. Shout out to the Flyers there for covering the spread. Yeah, that one hit. We had Philly on plus 1.5 puck line, and then we had was it the Vegas Knights team total over 1.5 as well. So nice little parlay there in the NHL. We did hit as well on the Wolves team total over 105.5. I thought that was way too low. Turned out to be right. We did lose on the Thunder. We had the minus 10.5. We lost at the very end there. They ended up winning by 9, so tough loss there, but we'll take it. And then the Cavs, shocked about that one, to be honest with you. We'll get into that in a minute, but shocked that they lost. Sorry, not the Cavs, the Pistons. I'm sorry. Pistons, shocked that they lost to Orlando, which is down. Pistons down 3-1 now. Red alert, red alarms. Sound all the alarms for the Pistons here. Didn't see that one
At
coming
least
at
they're
all.
going home.
Well, at least they're going home, and they might be staying home. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, otherwise, so I actually went 2-3 for the show pick, so not bad, not terrible. But we'll look to rebound today, and we did hit some live bets as well. So if you follow me over on X, like I always mention here, I post a lot of live plays over there on X. So make sure you guys follow me at PrinceOfPicks10. That's on my X profile. We did hit quite a few live plays as well, so it kind of made up for the show plays. But yeah, 2-3. We'll bounce back today.
I must have been counting the plays that you had online because my record for you was pretty good yesterday. Drew, how you doing today? How was your picks yesterday? I know they took Max Fried out at 18 outs, which was a little disappointing. But how was your day overall?
Yeah, so Dylan Cease under 17.5 outs. It barely hit, but it shouldn't have barely hit. Luckily, the guy got hit, took Cease out. I guess the Blue Jays want to blow out Cease's arm. They skipped a start, one of his last starts, like by one day. So he got 6 full days of rest to pitch 110 pitches, but then they let him pitch 107. I don't know what they're doing with a $210 million arm. Like that was his only like really bad start. He gave up 4 runs, but they should have took him, not let him out in the 6th where he gave up 2 more runs. But Max Fried was very interesting. I don't understand, in my opinion, Boone's philosophy now. He's been letting his starters go like 95 to 100 pitches, and I'll say with the Max Fried, they really weren't stressful pitches. He had at most like 2 base runners at one time, so that was kind of confusing. And then the last one, we got hooked again by Franz Wagner. He had 6 rebounds and assists at halftime. He had 8 going to the 4th quarter and got absolutely no rebounds and assists in the 4th quarter. So 1 and 2 on the day.
Yeah. Well, today's another day. Today's a good Tuesday to bounce back. You know what? Let's get into baseball first. I'm excited about today's slate. Lots of unders, just like yesterday. But Drew, I'm going to pass it to you. Where are we going first in your worldwide of sports?
Oh, first I'm going to go to, I think is going to be one of the most electric matchups of the day. We have 2 young guns battling out. We get to see, not to bring up old wounds, Stern, but we get to see Trey Savage having his first start. But we get to see him face Peyton Tolley, who's, as we know, is very exciting as well too. I believe the Yankees still won that game, but we saw Peyton Tolley struck out like the first 5 batters for the Yankees, had like 11 strikeouts. We saw Savage. Savage has one of the nastiest splitters you'll ever see. That thing literally just drops. That thing like just drops like the most break you'll ever see from a splitter ever. But I like Trey Savage here. I know he'll probably be on a pitch count because they're being cautious of him. His last rehab start, he only went 2.1 innings, 64 pitches, but I expect him to be full ready to go in this and to get strikeouts. I like it could be risky because if he only pitches like 4 innings, it may be hard. But the Red Sox do have a high striker rate. I know Cease only struck out around like only had like 5 or 6 strikeouts on 100 something pitches, but I do like your Savage over 5.5 Ks on minus 125. If you look at this guy's metrics, his whiff rate across the board is absolutely insane. And then if you just look at his past games in general, from when he did pitch in 2025, he had like 3 starts in 2025 before the playoffs. He did have a 9K game and also a 5K game. But if you look at the playoffs as well, he had multiple double-digit strikeouts. So I like Trey Savage and looking forward to watching him pitch.
Yeah, so this might be one of the few plays that I actually may disagree with you, and that's all right. We're different cappers; we come to different conclusions. But Trey Savage is coming off injury, and I'm not really sure how stretched out his arm is going to be. I would assume that he's max going to go 4 or 5 innings, which, to be fair, with his talent, he could definitely get to the strikeout count that you need him to cash. But in this matchup, I don't see why the Red Sox aren't the favorites here. I think that the Red Sox are the hotter team for sure. Blue Jays have not been able to put anything together. And if you're talking about these 2 young pitchers, Peyton Tolley just went toe to toe, 6 innings, 3 hits, and just 1 run allowed to the New York Yankees, who are significantly better offensively now and in overall than the Blue Jays. So I like Peyton Tolley to kind of come out strong. And then on the other side, Trey Savage coming off injury, even if he pitches well, like I said, I think he's just going to be limited. And Boston's offense has been clicking as opposed to Toronto's. I just think that the Red Sox deserve to be the favorites at plus 105 on the money line. I thought that was a really good value. I got that over on ESPN. Right now you can get plus 100 or minus 102. Pretty wild, pretty much across the board. Drew, I know I'm going against you a little bit, but how do you feel about that play?
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, I am a fan of Peyton Tolley as well. I know he went toe to toe against the Yankees, but something about when it comes to him, he didn't necessarily when he pitched last year. He started off really well, and then he had that one really good start against Paul Skeens, and he kind of tailed off after that. I think there's both unknowns. Like it's kind of like one of those things where. Because I think Peyton Tolley had a partial injury too last year, and then that was one of his first starts back from injury as well last time. And then we saw, of course, last time we saw Trey Savage, he was dominating the playoffs as well. So I don't necessarily have a take in who's going to win the game. I think the Red Sox are the hotter team, but I just believe both these guys are very young, and there is unknown, of course. But I've seen Trey Savage's stuff, and he can strike out people like Peyton Tolley can.
Sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch for sure. 2 young studs on the mound. Where else are we going to go for your next play? I do have a number of plays in the MLB today, but gonna let you lead. Where are we going next?
Yeah, definitely. And then so something I will say real quick, the key for Peyton Tolley and Trey Savage is when it comes to Tolley, of course, there's a new manager, of course, and then when it comes to Schneider, he manages a certain way at the end of the day. And something I would look out for is how these young guns start out because I feel like there might be tight leashes, but the young guns both start out well. There won't be as tight leashes, so I hope there's not tight leashes for either of them because I like watching both of them. But my next one is probably my favorite play of the day. It's the Nationals versus the Mets. I know the Mets offense has not been great as we've seen. They have not been getting starters out early. They've been struggling They've been struggling against starters in general, but they're facing a pitcher I think that Vegas is giving too much credit to, Zach Littell. Last start was the first time he's actually made it into the sixth inning. And I know I mentioned it before, like he pitches most pitches I think he pitched in his like career for a single game at 96, but he still gave up 6 runs. His last two games, he's given up 14 runs combined. He has a massive hard hit rate. He doesn't cause many whiffs. He pitches a lot of meatballs. He has a high meatball percentage, and he's facing a Mets team that is itching to get going at the Mets. I like Zach Littell under 17 and a half outs for minus 130. I think that's a really good value for somebody that doesn't usually even see the sixth inning, let alone finish 6 innings. And the fact that he did pitch 96 pitches his last start, I feel like the Nationals may be cautious of him because remember, he pitched for the Rays last year and he was a reliever. And I think because he was a reliever, you can tell that he struggles later on into games. And I think the Nationals will be cautious of his arm.
Yeah, I don't mind that play at all. I do lean Washington based on the money line price at 1+153. Just it's a value spot for me where I link the Nationals over the Mets, who keep finding ways to lose games, which is really disappointing for a lot of people. So I do agree that Zach Littell probably doesn't deserve to go 6 full innings. I also don't think that the Mets are going to have the stuff to finish the game out, or at least not at the minus 186 money line price that the books are offering us. So kind of a double-edged sword there, but I do like the play. And the again, it's the outs under, right?
Yeah, under 17 and a half outs. The
Yeah, it's
one of the
too
main
many.
Yeah, yeah, I just think that's too many other day against the Giants. He went 4 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned runs against the Braves. He did go 6 innings, but it was 7 hits, 6 earned runs, and he gave up 4 home runs. So actually, this is crazy to think about, guys. His last 3 starts combined, he's given up 9 home runs. So this guy has been getting absolutely popped. He's given up 11 home runs total on the year as well. I think the only reason they had him go 6 against the Braves is because the bullpen was tired. But now, since they had the day, I believe they had the day off yesterday. Their bullpen is fresh, so they probably don't. They're not going to let Zach Littell go too deep in this game, especially someone that literally has given up 9 home runs. That's just really bad. I just noticed that.
Yeah, especially with Juan Soto back, you're getting a lot more pitching around players now. Now that they have more of a complete lineup. So yeah, I really don't mind that at all. No official play from me in this game, but I do lean Nationals at the plus 150 or better price across the books. All right, Drew, what else you got for us today? Any other player props
Yeah.
in the
So
MLB?
another. Yeah. So there was other games I was, of course, interested in. It's going to be fun to watch. Cam Schlittler versus Jake DeGrom. I'm a big fan, of course, of both. I was going to. This is just a game that I'm looking forward to watch because Jake DeGrom looks like Jake DeGrom. Of course, not the 1.06 ERA Grom, but he has like a 2 something ERA. So I was trying to find something in this game, but I would say the strikeouts was too high for DeGrom, and the strikeouts for Cam, because DeGrom strikeouts at 7.5, which he could get, and Cam Schlittler's at 6.5. But Cam Schlittler's strikeouts kind of scare me, and so do DeGrom, because we saw Cam, I believe he went like 8 innings against the Red Sox. He only got 5, and there's some games where, because he pitches a lot of fastballs, so if you catch his fastballs, he'll produce like weak contact, get out of the game, and 17.5 outs for him scares me a little bit because I don't know if Boone is going to limit him after 8 innings, and DeGrom 6.5 outs. He's been going 6 innings, but I wasn't sure. I just wanted to know though if you have any thoughts in this game.
Yeah, I do. I like the Yankees side here. I think that there's value on the line there. I played this Yankees Rangers first 5 under 4.5, parlayed with the Mariners Twins first 5 under 4.5 for a half a unit at plus 134. Now I will say caveat here: if you can get the first 3 under 3.5 on both of these sides, I actually like that play a lot more. Both of these pitchers do really well the first and second, but really the first time around the order. Cam Schlittler, no reason not to back him here. Rangers offense isn't so hot. And again, like you said, Jacob deGrom seems to be finding his pitches, and he's pitching at home, which really actually helps him a lot. Both pitchers contain a Sierra well under 3. They both have elite strikeout numbers. Like I mentioned, I would really like a first 3 under 3.5 parlay more if it's available. But I think that the first 5 under 4.5 is more than fine of a line at plus 134 parlayed. I'm going to go in that direction. And then again, the second game that I'm mentioned here, the Mariners Twins, similar type of thinking. Logan Gilbert versus Joe Ryan. We have 2 aces on the mound. Both teams offensively went off yesterday, so I like a little bit of regression in terms of run scorage. I like getting these 4 pitchers that we kind of get to root for 2 different pitching duels, and I think that we're going to get them, and I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I would say probably my last play that I have because we have, and you kind of mentioned the game. It was the Mariners versus the Twins. First, something I will say, I wanted to do something in the Marlins Dodgers, like some kind of first 5. Unfortunately, it hurts me to say it's for the Dodgers, but because Shohei hasn't given up, and like he's given up, I think like 1 earned run so far this year, which is absolutely insane. But the thing I have an issue with is the Dodgers offense has been kind of pretty bad lately against starting pitching. They usually beat up the bullpen, but they do work pitch counts. At the end of the day, we kind of saw it with Shota, where Shota only gave it like a few runs, but they worked his pitch count. And Jansen Junk can either be good or bad. But my last play would be the Marlins Twins. It's Logan Gilbert pitching. The thing that's been fascinating about this, his outs opened at under 17.5 at plus 130, and now it's to plus 100. Something I've noticed with Logan Gilbert is because like there was a period where Logan Gilbert was like, oh, this is where he's going to, continue to go, like 6 innings and stuff. He did a 6 inning start and a 7 inning start, but then his next 2 starts against the Rangers, 5.1 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk. And against the A's, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. So something I do like this with a pretty patient Twins team. I'm going to ride this kind of like wagon because no offense to Logan Gilbert, he is an ace. But I have noticed recently in his last couple of starts, his command has gone back to what we saw last year. He's not going to be, he's not the same pitcher we saw, like I said, 3 years ago. It's going to consistently go 6 innings. So I do like his under 17.5 outs at a plus 100 at the end of the day, especially for a Twins team that has been hot and they're home. And when they're home, they generally score a lot of runs, and they're really good at the pitches that Logan Gilbert possesses.
I love it. Yeah, I can see it for sure. I'm going to be looking at that game, obviously, on my own plays, but now on yours as well. Prince, do you have any thoughts on this game or in any thoughts in general on the baseball slate?
No, I
Before
don't.
I get into my next play.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything officially for baseball other than our daily sprinkles for home runs.
All right, Drew, anything else before I dive into my Phillies first inning play, which I'm actually really, really excited for?
No,
I
those are
love these
my
first
only
inning
3
plays.
plays.
All right, cool. So yeah, let me jump into this one. I'm really excited about this. I love these first inning plays because I used to play them no run first inning and the first inning side, but if you lose, then you lose twice. Phillies first inning money line minus 160. I know that it's a little bit juicy. If the price has gone up, find a good parlay piece with it, or just bite the juice. I think it's worth it up to actually around minus 190, minus 200. I see value on the number. Phillies ranking top 10 in the league in scoring the first inning at home, despite their, let's say, lackadaisical start to the season. They're really not doing well overall. But in the first inning, they're in the top 10 in scoring in the first. 40% of the time, they're scoring in the first inning at home. Giants, on the other hand, are ranking 26th in scoring on the road, averaging a run in the first inning just 8.33% of the time. So I think that there's tremendous value just on that stat alone to take the Phillies on the first inning money line. And then you're going to throw in the better pitcher, Jesus Luzardo, who Granted, he's been a little bit shaky in terms of his actual stats, but when you look under the hood at his underlying metrics, all I see is a dominant pitcher whose opponents are only batting 200 the first time around the order with an OPS at 440. He has a 27% strikeout rate, 7.4 walk rate, and a 6.3 percent barrel rate to a 33% hard hit rate. All those numbers are excellent. No reason not to back him. If you want to take the Phillies first 3 or first 5, I honestly really like those numbers too. I think that there's the highest value on the first inning alone. Tyler Mahle, who is on the other side of pitching for the Giants. Sorry, brother, Drew, but just got to fade him. Opponents are batting 325 the first time around the order with a 938 OPS. His high barrel rate at 13.5% and high walk rate at 12.3% means that he will probably get into trouble early against a Phillies team. Like I mentioned, they're scoring in the first inning at home 40% of the time. If you look back at last year, I think they were in the top 2 or 3 in scoring in the first inning, well over 45% of the time. I think that we're getting a tremendous value here at minus 160, and I'm willing to pay the juice. How do you feel about that, man?
I will
That
say,
might be my favorite play of the day.
I say I would be cautious because Tyler Mahle, he pitched against the Phillies already this year, and he went 5.2 innings, only gave up 3 hits and no runs. I would be careful the first 5. I like your first inning, especially because of that, because Luzardo has given up all his runs through 4th through 5th inning. So he's been great the first 3. So yeah, I know Tyler Mahle hasn't been necessarily great, but Tyler Mahle is one of those guys where it's very confusing. He shut out the Dodgers, and then he also shut out the Phillies the last time he played. I've always been backing up Luzardo, but the problem is all of a sudden I've seen the 4th inning he's given up like 5 runs out of nowhere. That's why I like your first inning instead. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that there was the best price there. It's something that you just alluded to. Tyler Mahle, he actually gets better as the game gets on. His first time around the order stats are the worst, and then the second time around the order is slightly better, and the third time around the order is actually pretty good. And then the exact opposite for Jesus Luzardo. First time in the order, he is phenomenal. Second time around, a little bit worse, and the third time around, he even worse than that. So yeah, definitely, there's a reason why I'm sticking to the first inning here. But yeah, anyway. All right. Well, I went through my 3 plays. I have a 2-leg parlay for a half a unit, the Red Sox and the Phillies. Drew, anything else that we want to get to? Any questions from you, Prince, before we head into our home run picks of the day? We got a lot to get to. We have Champions League, we have NBA, we have NHL. Obviously, I could talk baseball for as long as we want. There's a lot of interesting games. We mentioned it yesterday. There was a lot of value on the Marlins against LA. And then honestly, Marlins should have won. They gave up, I think it was a 2-run lead in the 9th inning to LA to lose that game, which also hurt me because I had the under in that game. But again, value on Miami. You just mentioned it earlier. We have Chicago versus San Diego. I think just like yesterday, I think the value is on Chicago. I'm not willing to go beat myself twice in a row on that. So, but definitely a lean. We have Bubic on the mound against the Athletics. There's a lot of good matchups. Is there anything that you guys want to get to before we move on?
Nothing for me, but I just put all your plays here on my sportsbook, so I'm ready to go.
All right. Drew, anything from you?
No, nothing else from me. Of course, there's I can talk baseball all day, but I said all the plays I was looking at. Another one I'll say one I was trying to do something with because of course we do have a lot of good advantage games, but of course baseball is an amazing sport. You can always talk about it all day, but I want to make sure, kind of like you did, make sure I don't bet on every single game individually because then I would drive myself insane. But I would say the Rockies Reds. I was trying to look at some first 5 lines with the Reds because Kyle Freeland, I'm not a big fan of him, and Chase Burns has been great. And something about the Reds, they've been destroying starting pitching. So I was tempted to do their first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 140, but I'm going to look into that more. But I'm ready for the home run bets.
Yeah, I reflexively had to put a little bit of a sprinkle, a quarter unit on Colorado on the plus 1.5 on the run line at minus 120. Just too much value there against the Reds team that I don't trust. That's so inconsistent. I also have a lean on the under 9.5, if you can still get that number. Let me see what the number is actually at right now. Under 9, I would still take an underplay there for maybe a half a unit. Just personal thoughts. All right, let's get into our home run plays of the day. Prince, I'm going to go to you first. Where are we going? You've been hot. Murakami hit another one last night. Not that you picked him, but that is your guy. And now every single time he hits a home run, I think of you. Where are you going?
Yeah. So for today, guys, I'm keeping it simple. Probably the best hitter in the majors right now. Give me Aaron Judge. I'm gonna keep it simple here. Aaron Judge.
Cheater.
I know it's not fair, right? Plus 300. I think the value is great here, though. Plus 300 for Aaron Judge to go yard today. They're taking on the Texas Rangers, and I'm looking at the stats here. The Rangers are 22nd in home runs allowed, so they're bottom. What's that? Bottom 8, bottom 9 in the majors here, giving up home runs. So it seems like it's a pitching staff here that does give up a lot of homers here to sluggers, which of course Aaron Judge is not just that, but that is part of what he is. And so I think it's good value here. Give me Aaron Judge plus 300 against a very mid Rangers pitching staff.
Wait, you found that price at plus 300?
Yep, it's on
Wow.
DraftKings.
Well, I can't deny the value there. I'm going to go bet that myself. Not that I don't bet everything that you guys say anyway, but I think that plus 300, even against an elite pitcher who is known to give up some home runs, I think that's phenomenal value. Drew, where are you going?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with somebody in the Orioles. The Orioles, when they're facing Kaiwi Tang, pitcher for the Astros. So you know what? You know what? I'm not gonna take Jordan because I don't want to do that. It's under plus 300, but I will say about what Prince said. That's very great value for Aaron Judge. Anything he's plus 300, but I'm gonna go with Samuel Basayo at plus 525. He already has 5 home runs on the year. If you don't know me, he's a really good he's a really good young player. The Orioles, something they do, they hit very well on these prospects. They were doing really well with Samuel Basayo. And then when it comes to Tyree Tang, right? He throws a sweeper 37% of the time, fastball 29% of the time. So his second pitch he throws a lot is the four seamer. People slug 625 against his four seam fastball. Well, Basayo slugs against 774 against the four seam fastball this year, and he also has 4 home runs on the fastball this year. Not to mention, Basayo is also a lefty. He also rakes righties as well. One of the issues, of course, with Kyrie Tang is he throws a lot of meatballs. He also doesn't have a good weak contact percentage at all. His barrel rate this year so far is only 2.4%. But we saw it in the previous years; it was much higher. But I do like Samuel Basayo for plus 525, especially for somebody that can hit the fastball very well, and he's a lefty.
I mean, I'm seeing Samuel Basello with an 11.1% barrel rate to a 46.3% hard hit rate. Those are the numbers that I'm typically looking for people to go yard. All right, I'm going to go in a little different direction here. I've been talking about them, but I haven't actually been able to get to a play on them yet. Give me Spencer Torkelson plus 470. Just put it simply, Torkelson has hit 5 home runs in a row. That's just an insane stat. I think he's tied the record for the Tigers dynasty. I don't see Martin Perez really continuing to dominate at the level that he has been. I expect negative regression at some point. His whiff rate is at 18.5%, 15.5% strikeout rate with a 40.6% hard hit rate. Opponents are batting an expected batting average of 267 against him. Good home run hitting stadium. The weather is not such a big deal here, blowing in at about 5 miles per hour. I think Spencer Torkelson, if you're going to go with anybody at a plus 470 number, I think Torkelson offers the best value. I mean, listen, the guy's hit 5 in a row. What's one more, right? All right. Let's get into
Yeah, I
NHL.
like your pick a lot. He's been on fire. He's found his way like he did last year.
Yeah. And his underlying metrics are pretty solid too. If my computer would respond, I would be able to get to those. But anyway, let's get into the NHL. Drew, do you have any thoughts tonight? amazing playoff games yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Any recaps that you want to get to, and then jump right into a play if you have it, and then I'll pass it to Prince.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry. I was on my thing went on mute again. No, I would say I didn't get to watch much of the games tomorrow, but of course I did watch the highlights. The game that I was able to watch the tail end of was probably the best game to watch the tail end of. The Golden Knights and the Mammoth. That was absolutely amazing in cinema. I don't think anybody expected that game to be that high scoring. I was very impressive. 5-4 to the Golden Knights series is 2-2. And then I watched some of the highlights for the Flyers Penguins. That game has been a tight knit series. At the end of the day, shout out to the Penguins for still fighting, to stay in the series. So yeah, that's my recap, I would say.
Yeah, I will say that I don't expect the Pittsburgh to have the shot goal variance that they had last night. Some wild shots went in that I don't think that they should have. I think the Flyers are still the better team there. Prince, any reactions from last night?
No, to be honest with you, I was pretty locked in on the NBA. So, I mean, I was scoreboard watching to see if our bet hit, which of course it did. But no real
Sweat
reaction.
free.
Almost sweat free. No real reactions tonight or for yesterday. But I'll probably be tuning tonight, especially the Ducks Oilers. That's been a really fun series and a high scoring series. So I'll probably have my eye on that one. And I do have a play that we'll get into here in a little bit.
Well, I wonder if it's the same play as me, and foreshadowing to the over on Edmonton Anaheim, because you're right. Every single game has gone way over in those. But anyway, Drew, where are you going first? If you're going anywhere in the NHL slate?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. I'll let you guys go first. I have to type this message real quick for work.
All right, Prince, where are you going?
Yeah, sure. So I've actually got a 3-pick parlay tonight. We got to play from every single game.
There's only 3 games,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have action on all 3 games here. This was the best way that I could attack this to get some value, in my opinion here. So first up here, we'll go in chronological order. We'll go to the Bruins Sabres game first. I like the Sabres here on +1.5. We're gonna do an alt puck line here. We'll get them at +1.5. I do expect them to probably close it out tonight at home. But for this parlay, for the value that I'm getting here, which we'll get to in a second, my first leg here is going to be taking the Buffalo Sabres on a +1.5 puck line here. And then the next game we'll go to is going to be the Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars. I'm going to take under 8.5 goals here. These are 2 defensive teams, and this has hit in every single game so far this series. I can't imagine seeing 9 goals between these 2 sides. So we're going to take under 8.5 between the Wild and the Stars. We're going to take Sabres +1.5. And then the big one here, the Oilers and the Ducks, the late one, 10 p.m. Eastern face-off here. I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers at home. Team total over 2.5 goals. Their backs are against the wall here. I'm expecting a big performance here offensively from them in a must-win game at home. I think you can expect Connor McDavid to come out ready to go here, probably offensively, make some input here on this game. And I expect their offense to show up here. They've been an elite offense all year, and I think in a do-or-die game, getting them to get 3 goals here in what's been a very, very high-scoring series, I think that's a great possibility here for that to hit. So Oilers team total over 2.5, Sabres +1.5, Wild Stars under 8.5. That comes in around -125.
I love it. I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. I was actually, instead of looking at the Wild Stars total game under 8.5, which I think is such an inflated line that I don't see how it's possible to get that high. I was actually looking at a first period under 1.5 or 2.5. But what I decided on was I like the Sabres tonight at home. I think they get it done. So I'm going to take the Sabres money line, parlayed with the Ducks Oilers over 5.5 at +116, half a unit MGM. Sabres are just the better team. I think they're going home. The likelihood that they get it done is just too great. They have the goaltending advantage. They're more at full strength than Boston, who had some injuries coming off the ice last night. And they just create too much pressure that Boston will have a hard time being able to defensively keep up. And as for the Ducks Oilers, we've played the over each game, every game, and it's sailed on by. 7 goals is the smallest amount of goals that has come in through this series, which just tends to happen when you have great offenses facing off against shaky defenses and flood goaltending. I don't see how it's possible that this game goes under 5. I really don't. I really like the play, and I like how you attacked it too, because I do lean Oilers to kind of get it done tonight as well. But I'm not going to pick a side. I'm just going to pick an over, just like you did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything to indicate that the under is going to hit between these two sides. There's nothing. There hasn't been anything to show us that these two teams are
No.
not just going to keep scoring and scoring and scoring.
No, it comes into the third period, and goals are going to be galore.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% with you there, brother.
Which, by the way, if you are listening to this and you're watching the game and there's less than 5 goals or 6 goals by the third period, just bet the over in the third period.
Exactly.
They'll play lockdown defense for the most part, just trying to get to the third period. But once that pressure comes down and they have to get it done, both of these offenses come alive, and it's really something amazing to watch if you haven't watched it already. All right, anything else in the NHL, Drew?
Oh yeah. So did I? Because I was gone for the last like 30 seconds. Did Prince pick the over?
Yes, both of us did actually.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll just tell you guys then in that case, because I was going to do something with the over too. I'm just going to tell you guys in that case. It's just it's ridiculous that Vegas keeps putting this line out, and it's like the same line every time. And both these teams have combined to cover 7 or more goals in their last like 7. I mean 6 out of I think it's like 7 out of 8 meetings. At the end of the day, the only time it didn't cover, I think, out of the last meetings, it was a 6 goals. So it was pretty.
No.
It was pretty low scoring. I'm just
7
kidding.
goals. 7
Yeah.
goals every single game this series.
Oh yeah, I'm saying this series. I'm talking about including regular season too. It's been crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, then regular season there was 2 games with 11 goals.
Yeah, they had that
Yeah,
one
I mean-
really low scoring 6-goal game. That was a really defensive battle.
Yeah,
Really
I don't know what
defensive
they're thinking. Like,
lockdown
come
battle
on.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-2. What a lockdown battle.
Yeah. So yeah, just to recap, Drew Prince likes the team total for Edmonton over 2.5, and I took the full game over 5.5. Both of those plays should cash in a 6-goal game. All right, NBA playoffs. Prince, I'm going to pass it to you. What are your reactions from last night? Do we have to just worry about the Pistons now? I'm reflexively, as soon as I saw the lines being put out for tonight, or I guess not for tonight, but I saw the lines getting out there for the Pistons Magic game. Because I had bet the Pistons series, I couldn't not bet the Magic on the money line just to hedge myself a little bit for a half a unit. But what are we doing? What is Pistons doing? Are they going to be able to get it done against the Magic, who no one believed in?
Yeah, I'm worried about the Pistons. Rightfully so. I think everyone should be right now. Of course, you got to win 3 in a row against Orlando. Now, it is Orlando that we're talking about this. If there's ever been an inconsistent team throughout the regular season, it has been the Orlando Magic. But ever since that loss to Philadelphia in the first play-in game, they seem to have turned a corner. I don't know what happened. A switch has been flipped, and this team is playing. And I mentioned it before. They're playing the way that everyone expected them to play throughout the entire season. They are, in my opinion, I think 2 things are going on right now. I think one, when you look at the Pistons side of things, I think they're too heavily reliant on Cade Cunningham right now. He is having no help offensively on a consistent basis. And I think they're asking him to do too much. And I think he's getting worn down. If you look at his shot selection towards the end of the game, a lot of shots are getting short. He's taking a lot of tough shots. He's taking a lot of contested shots in traffic, kind of forcing it in some points because I think he feels that he doesn't have any help consistently that he can rely on to pick up the scoring. And so I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing Detroit really struggle to score is because I think there's too much is on Cade Cunningham's shoulders right now. And I think he's just getting worn down in the series. And part of him being worn down is I think the second thing here is the Orlando Magic are playing more physical. I think the Orlando Magic are playing more physical than the Detroit Pistons, and I think it's really affecting the Pistons here, specifically offensively. The Magic are really getting into them, getting into their space defensively. They're not letting or Detroit have any easy shots. And I would say credit to Orlando's defense. This is a defense that we expected to see at the beginning of the season, and we didn't see it at all. In fact, we were seeing overs. Overs was an autoplay for Orlando Magic games, which is something you never would have said over the past 2-3 seasons under Jacques Vaughn. But something happened. Something has switched with this Orlando team. They are playing the best basketball that they have played in probably at least this entire season, maybe even dating back to last season. Up 3-1. I would expect Detroit to put up a performance here at home, right? Not get the gentleman's sweep against the number 8 seed Orlando Magic. So kind of projecting to tomorrow's game. Probably want to take Detroit in that one, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Orlando just goes ahead and gets the 4-1 win here. So I think this series has been flipped on its head, and I think it's all credit to Orlando here. I think their intensity is really making the difference here and having a major impact on this series. And Detroit seems like kind of like fish out of water here. They seem a little bit flustered and not really sure what to do. Maybe their inexperience is kind of showing here for the Pistons. So yeah, surprised to see them lose though for sure. I can go ahead and recap the other games unless you have any thoughts about that or.
No. Let's recap the other games because there wasn't the only surprise on the slate yesterday.
No, there wasn't. Well, it depends what you consider a surprise. I think you're probably talking about the Wolves and Nuggets, but let me go and get with the Thunder and Suns. That one ended up being a 4-0 sweep. I predicted it. I bet it before the series started. I bet a 4-0 sweep for that one. So we ended up cashing that. Suns were never going to be in this one. This was just always going to be an epic mismatch for them. Shout out to them. They played hard. They overachieved throughout the season. I mean, most Suns fans and most analysts here projected the Suns to be bottom 4, bottom 5 in the Western Conference before the season started. So they exceeded all expectations here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected them to make the playoffs. So credit to them. Credit to Jordan Ott for really having these guys play hard. I mean, that's how they made it to the playoffs. They just played hard every single night. But when you're playing against the Thunder, it's going to take more than effort. You have to have talent as well. And I think the Suns just got a little bit exposed here.
That's one of the funniest lines I've heard from you. You have to have talent too.
Well, yeah, I mean, heart can only go so far. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to have some skill out there to be able to compete with some of the big dogs, especially when we talk about the Thunder, defending champion, projected to be probably champion again this year. I think they're the book's favorites and they're most people's favorites to repeat. So, the Suns did what they could. They got a lot of young guys going to get some experience here, playoff experience, but it was always going to be 1, 2, 3 Cancun for them. And so at least it's a short trip down there in Phoenix. They don't have to travel too far to go to Cancun. So be a nice little short flight for them. And they can kick their feet up and relax and watch the rest of the playoffs with the rest of us here. But then going to the Timberwolves and Nuggets. This one I think could be surprising to some people based on where the Nuggets are at. But when you look at the Wolves roster, they're depleted, right? I mean, of course, no Ant, no DiVincenzo. That is a massive impact on the Wolves here, and I think you saw it. And so I wonder where they're going to get consistent scoring from. You're going to have to rely on Naz Reid. You're going to have to rely on Julius Randle. You're going to have to rely on Ayo Dosunmu, in my opinion. I think those 3 guys are going to be the ones that are going to have to carry the mantle offensively without Ant and without DiVincenzo there. So, Bones Highland, he did what he could, but he's a rotational player for a reason. He doesn't get a lot of minutes for a reason because he kind of takes some bad shots, and he's usually a minus in the plus minus when he's out there on the floor. So this might be curtains for the Wolves. I mean, they got to win this one at home. If they don't win this one at home in Game 6, I think Denver is likely to win this series and come back from a 3-1 deficit. Be one of the few teams to come back from a 3-1 deficit. And I think when you look at roster to roster, at this point, Denver obviously should be heavily favored to come back in this series and win it. It's unfortunate for the Wolves, unfortunate for Ant that he had to go through the injuries again. But it is what it is. That's part of the NBA, and you play who's in front of you. So I would say projecting the Game 6 here, I think Wolves overs are still a thing that we want to look at because I still don't trust Denver's defense. It came through last night. I think the way Denver's going to win this is just by outscoring the Wolves. I don't think they're going to be able to lock them down necessarily because that's just not the Nuggets' DNA. But I do think we could see more high-scoring games in this series. But red alarms for the Wolves here, unfortunately.
And the Nuggets have come back from multiple 3-1 deficits, especially in 2020.
Yep. They have the experience. Of course, they have the championship experience. They have the experience coming back from deficits in the series. So it's not going to be too much for them mentally to get locked in here and believe. They probably smell blood in the water here. So it's just a matter for them to capitalize on it.
Yeah. All right. What about tonight? We have Hawks Knicks series tied 2-2. Rooting for my Knicks. Not a lot of hope, even though they are the favorites by 6.5. Sixers, Celtics, and Trailblazers, Spurs. Both 76ers and Trailblazers facing elimination. Any plays for tonight?
Yeah, I do. So, I'm sorry, Drew. Do you want to go first? Go ahead, Drew. You go first.
Oh yeah, I figured I can go first. I have like one play, and of course, I always love telling you guys. I'm not as I guess like seasoned NBA, of course, as you guys. So I always love listening to your picks. But I'll say a quick dad joke, real quick. It's free and to make you guys' day. But I mean, Prince, you said that they didn't have heart, but at least the Knicks have heart. There you go. It's a dad joke.
Hey,
Hey,
here we go.
but I'm going to fade a player here. I'm doing another player prop. Been 2 and 1 of them since I did it. I like Dyson Daniels under 9.5 points. If you look at Dyson Daniels, he hasn't he's only had 8. He's had 8 or less points in every 3 games. I love how the Knicks are guarding him. They're forcing him to shoot on the perimeter. He's had 7 turnovers the last 2 games, which we're kind of not used to him doing. They're basically giving like the Tony Allen treatment, like the Warriors did back in the day. And he's just struggling to find ways to score. Another reason why I like his under in points. He's been such an offensive liability. The way the Knicks have been guarding him, they've been sitting him in the fourth quarter. I believe the last 2 games, one game he only played like 1 minute in the fourth quarter. In the game before that, he only played like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. So he's just not been productive offensively, and the Knicks have a really good game plan to basically make him unreliable for the Hawks.
I love it. I like it a lot. I'm playing it now. Prince, what do you got for tonight's games? I actually have 2 plays in the NBA, which I'm excited to get to. But Prince, lead us off. Where are we going?
Okay. Yeah. So for me, guys, I have one official play tonight in terms of a show play, but I have plays for the other games too. Leans here, strong leans. So I'll go ahead and go into the official play first. One I'm looking at is the Sixers and Celtics tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern tip off. Of course, Boston comes into this one 3-1 up in the series, back at home here in Game 5. I expect them to close this out. But what I'm looking at more than anything is I like Boston's team total over 112.5. I'm not really sure why the books keep putting this line so low. I think with the 3-point variance that you get with the Boston Celtics, if they're hitting their threes, they're likely to score 120, 125, even 130 on any given night. And so it's just a math issue for me here. And I expect them at home in a closeout game with the championship pedigree that they have. They know the importance of getting this series done and get it over with, especially with the amount of injuries that they have had throughout playoff runs. Every extra game that you play, you're risking one of your guys going through an injury and something like that. So I think they're going to be ready to go here. I want to close this one out. Philly's going to try their hardest, but on the road, I just don't think they have enough here to compete with Boston at home. I think the role players are going to shine and really shoot the lights out of the ball here, is my estimation here. So I'll take the Celtics team total over 112.5. And then my 2 strong leans here, which by the way, guys, I do have these posted on TikTok. You guys can follow me on TikTok for more NBA plays. That's at PrinceOfPicks 10 on TikTok. But we're looking at the Hawks and Knicks here. I actually like the Knicks tonight. I'll lay the 6.5 with New York. When we're looking at Atlanta, their 2 games that they won, they both lived by 1 point each. And they were kind of fortunate to win both of those games, in my opinion. It took 2 Knicks collapses here for the Hawks to get those done. So I think the Knicks have shown that they are the better team here throughout the duration of the series. I expect them at home to put on a performance here and really show that they are the better team because, in my opinion, I think they are the better team. And so I'll lay the 6.5 with the Knicks. I know it's a little risky laying points with the Knicks because they are inconsistent at times, but I'll trust Mike Brown here to get these guys ready and have them take a 3-2 lead here going into Atlanta. I think again over the duration of the series, I think the Knicks have shown that they're the better team. So give me the Knicks. I'll lay the 6.5 with them tonight against the Hawks. And then finally here, Blazers Spurs. I've been heavy on the Spurs in this series, and that's not going to change tonight. Give me the Spurs team total over 112.5. Again, I think this is too low. I'm not sure why we're giving the Blazers so much credit here defensively. This Spurs team can put up points in a hurry against anybody, and Portland is definitely not a defensive stalwart here to be worried about. So the Spurs at home, I think they run it up here against the Blazers. The spread is a little bit too big for me in the closeout game. I don't like to lay that many points. I think it was at what was it, like 10.5, 11.5 last I checked. So that's too many points for me, but in a closeout game. But Offensively, I think they should be able to put up points here. So I will take the Spurs here over 112.5. That's a strong lean here. Again, those plays are on TikTok. But for officially for the show, we're going to take the Boston Celtics over 112.5 against the Sixers.
Yeah, I
I do
think
have a
sorry, go on.
question. Oh, I have a quick question for Prince. Do you think one of the reasons they have it at 112.5 is because, of course, I know you're really good, of course, doing like the team total overs. They have 112.5 because they think it's a closeout game. They think that the Spurs will not try to get like too, cocky and like score more. Do you think that's why they have it at 112.5? Or because I'm confused about that line like you.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe they're projecting like it could be a big lead for the Spurs heading into the fourth. Maybe they put in some of their rotational players, and maybe that affects the total. Honestly, I mean, 112 is not a very high number, so I can't really see a scenario, in my opinion,
Yeah.
where the Spurs don't reach 112. I mean, that's a relatively low number in today's NBA. So I'm a little bit confused by it exactly why that is, but I mean, of course, I'm expecting Wemby to go tonight. There's no reason why he shouldn't. His first should be relatively healthy. Closeout game at home against Portland, 112. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I'm on the same side as you here on pretty much all these games, except for maybe the over under in the Philly Boston game. Only because my model really likes the unders in those games. The only reason why we haven't been cashing them is from really fourth quarter variance where the Celtics just continue to shoot the three lights out, like you mentioned. So credit to you, credit due. I'm just going to pivot to the first half under because the first half unders have been flying on by. So I'm going to take 76ers Celtics first half under 109.5 at minus 106 for a half unit on FanDuel. And we talked about this yesterday. Embiid is back, but again, his pace is so slow, which really doesn't mesh well with Boston's own slow pace of play. The first half is just going under. The second half is going over. We've seen this already for a few games in a row, and I'm willing to ride that trend. Prince, do you like that play? Not now that I'm taking out the second half of the game.
I do. I think you're onto something there. The first half unders have been hitting in. Look, the reason I'm playing the over is based on the 3-point variance, but that could just as easily go under as well. So if they're not making their shots, then of course, the unders is very much in play. So it can go either way. I'm betting on them at home being able to put up the points, but of course, when you have that kind of a variance and the volume of threes that they shoot, if they're not hitting, then of course you're going to get an under. So I don't hate it.
Yeah. And then my second play here is a minus 4.5 spread parlay between the Celtics and the Spurs. So Celtics minus 4.5 and Spurs minus 4.5, half a unit minus 124. I simply just link both of these teams to get it done. I do not think that it's particularly close. I'm a little bit scared of touching double digit spreads in these games, but I think 2 possessions is more than fine. If you want to stretch it to minus 5.5 or even minus 6.5, I don't mind that at plus money either, but minus 4.5, minus 124. I thought that was really good value for both of these teams, and gentlemen sweep.
Yep, I agree with you, and I'm going to play that right now.
Yep. All right. Well, that's our NBA coverage. Now I'm very excited to get to the UCL Champions League. We have been covering the Champions League all year, and we finally have one game today, one game tomorrow. So I did come prepared with one pick. I'm very curious to see where that lines up with Prince, because Prince, you are our residential soccer expert. Where are we going? We have a banger of a match today. PSG versus Bayern. Where are you going?
Yeah, it is a banger of a matchup. It's the one that we've all been waiting for. Really, this probably should be the final of the Champions League, to be honest. I think most
I
people
don't disagree with that.
most people would say that these are the best 2 teams left in the tournament. So super excited here. We got a home and away leg, of course. Or do we? Are we just a single at this point? I can't remember. You have to double check me on that one, Moshe. If we're home and away or if we're single. I cover so many sports I can't remember, to be honest with you. I'm drawing a blank right now. I believe we are doing home and away. Yeah, I think we're still doing
Yeah.
home and away. Yeah. So, but in any case, it doesn't really impact my play on this game. Yeah, Bayern Munich, PSG, 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff today. Wow, what a match here. I will tell you guys right now, I'm looking at goals, but unfortunately, goals right now, pre-match is unplayable. All the prices are nuked. And so you're going to have to wait live to play those. You could play over 3.5. I think that's probably a playable price. My personal rule, I don't like to play anything over 3 pre-match. That's just my personal preference. So for me, I'll wait until that price becomes playable before I play anything on that live. But in terms of actual pre-match here, what I found the most value on was going to be Bayern Munich on a draw no bet. You're going to get that at minus 105. I've mentioned this before. I think Bayern Munich is the best team remaining in this tournament. I do expect them to win it all. And I think getting them with push insurance at near plus money, that's a play I just can't pass up here. So Bayern's been on fire, probably the most complete team. And I think they should have enough here to get it done. But in case it ends in a draw, we get our money back. So I like that value a lot. And then another play here that I'm looking at, Harry Kane to score anytime. I mean, how can you not? This man is averaging 1.17 goals per match. That is incredible. He is having an all-time season. This is going to go down as one of the greatest goal-scoring seasons in soccer history. He is just a machine right now. In every game he plays, him to score is an auto bet right now. And I expect in this match, this should be a very open, end-to-end entertaining match. I fully expect him to have multiple chances to get a goal. We're getting this at minus 105. That is an unbelievable value here for someone who's been scoring goals on a regular basis. So give me Harry Kane to score anytime, minus 105.
Now, how would you split that unit up? Would you put a full unit on the draw no bet and a half unit on Harry Kane to score anytime? Or would you put an equal full unit on both? How would you kind of split it up?
No, I would do exactly what you said. I'd put a full unit on the Bayern draw no bet, and then I'd throw a half unit. Usually for me, I put quarter units on goal scorers, but for Harry Kane, I'll put a half unit on it.
All right, yes, sir. So I was looking at the same direction as you, slightly different here. I just like Bayern's offensive production. Just quite simply, we've never really seen numbers the way that we've seen them on the Bayern club here. PSG has been a little bit shaky defensively. I did originally look at the draw no bet at plus money as my first thought, but then I was like, well, if they're going to win, I'm assuming that PSG is going to be able to score at least one, which means I need Bayern to score at least two. So I found Bayern's team total over 1.5 at minus 115, offering really good value over an MGM. And that's where I stuck it for a half a unit play for myself. And that's the value that I saw. I don't know if they win, but if you're looking at a game total over 3.5, I'm willing to bet that half of those goals come from the Bayern side. So that's what I like. Yeah.
I love it, Mosh. I absolutely love that. Shame on me for not checking on that. I'm going to play that right now. Team total over 1.5. What is it? Minus 105 for Bayern Munich?
Minus 115 on MGM.
Minus 115? That's an outstanding value. Yep, I'll play that as well.
Yeah, I think it's at minus 120 in other books, but yeah, I couldn't ignore that value. That's just stand out.
Yeah, they're the highest scoring team in the world. But I mean, more than likely, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm sure they are. I mean, they broke records in Bundesliga already for goals scored, and yeah, 1.5 goals. I love that. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's anything else that we need to get to before we get to our recap here coming up on the hour?
No, nothing else. Like I said, I do have more plays in soccer, but those are going to be over on the VIP channel and on my X profile. So again, guys, if you want to head on over to X, follow me at PrinceOfPicks 10. I'll be posting more plays there, and you guys can also find information on how to join the VIP channel. There's a pinned post. It's right on the top of the profile there. It's the first post that you're going to see, and there's information there on how to join the VIP channel. It's less than a cup of coffee, guys, and I think you'll be really happy with the investment when it's all said and done. So, and also make sure to follow us on OnlyBets podcast. We're going to be posting more content there as well. So, but yeah, other than that, nothing else for me today, guys.
All right, Drew, why don't you get us started with our recap, and I'll go, and then we'll give it off to Prince to close us out.
Yeah, perfect. I did Trey Savage over 5.5 Ks at minus 125. Zach Littell under 17.5 outs at minus 130. Logan Gilbert under 17.5 outs at plus 100. Dyson Daniels under 9.5 points at -125, and sprinkle Samuel Basayo home run for the Orioles at +525.
Love it. Phillies first inning money line -160. Red Sox money line +105. Everything else that I'm saying now is going to be for a half a unit or less. Like a 2-leg parlay: Yankees Rangers first 5 under 4.5 parlay with the Mariners Twins first 5 under 4.5. +134 is the price. Again, if you have the first 3 under 3.5 parlay there, I would actually prefer that number. My home run sprinkle today: Spencer Torkelson +470. In the NHL, I have a 2-leg parlay featuring the Sabres money line and the Ducks Oilers over 5.5 at +116. In the NBA, 2 plays for me: 76ers Celtics first half under 109.5 -106. And then a -4.5 spread parlay: Celtics -4.5 parlay with the Spurs -4.5 at -124. And then, not last but not least, UCL Champions League Bayern Munich team total over 1.5 -115 for a half a unit. Prince, close us out.
Yes, sir. So for me, guys, going to the UCL, I like Bayern Munich here on a draw no bet -105. Give me Harry Kane to score anytime. That as well as at -105. On the ice tonight, give me the Oilers team total over 2.5, plus the Sabres +1.5, and the Wild Stars under 8.5 goals. That one comes in at around -125. In the NBA tonight, give me the Boston Celtics team total over 112.5 at -120. Then finally, for me, in the major leagues, I'm going to sprinkle Aaron Judge to hit a home run tonight at +300. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the Only Bet Sports Podcast, Tuesday edition. For Drew DeLucchi, SternBets, I am the Prince of Picks. We appreciate all you guys joining in and taking our listening to our picks here. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, on X and Twitter Spaces. Again, we're looking for co-hosts and anyone who wants to come in, give their sports analysis. If you love to talk about sports, you love to bet on sports, come join us Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We're not hard to find. You can find us at OnlyBets Podcast. We'll have our Twitter Spaces up there. Feel free to jump in and chime in and give us your thoughts and opinions. We'd love to interact with each and every one of you. So with that being said, we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays. Let's cash out these tickets. We will be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Drew DeLucchi, SternBets on Prince of Picks. We'll see you then. Thanks.